What's going on, guys? It's me again, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to apologize for the lack of posts in these past couple of days. I've not really had the time to do it because my son kind of fell ill, and I've had to focus on him and also, supporting the situation and trying to make sure that he actually gets better. We had to take him to the hospital, but he's doing great now. He's doing fine. So I'm happy to report that. On a special note, I also wanted to mention. How much I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching my videos so far. And I actually just noticed was it yesterday that one of my videos hit 100 views for the first time, which is great and awesome. And now I believe the second one I hit it by today. So I said before I actually go right ahead and go into what I'm recording this video for. I was going to thank you guys, so I want to thank you guys for actually tuning in my journey so far. I appreciate the views also, and I appreciate some of you that have already subscribed to the channel. Of course, the more the merrier. I will definitely be appreciative if more of you hit the like button as always and subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks again for that. That being said, today I actually wanted to Actually, I've had a lot of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the inverse world. I want to talk about the effigy, and I want to talk about of course, especially my Mad Ryu situation being free to play and focus on him as my carry. Okay, the truth of the matter is this: we've heard a lot of people. Some have been very well, maybe only one person from what I've actually tried to explain why they think Mad Ryu actually is not viable at all. They call him like a trap, they call all sort of things, but others have just sort of like, I guess, based on hype from other people, they've said a lot of things. And the honest truth is that all of them have spoken in most cases from the pay to win perspective, which of course if I was paying for this game, I would definitely do that. I think the only thing the only amount I've ever spent ever was I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $10 or so, but it was just for one of those you know um I think if I go here I should be able to see it. Yeah, one of these grants. I just kind of picked. I think it was the heroic grant I picked, or it was the royal grant, and I just said, that was just it, because I thought, hey, occasionally I don't mind a few couple of these fragments coming in, but it's that if I was going to recommend trying to like you want to put something small in it, just pay something, you can go with that. Otherwise, you know we understand that we don't have to go through that route, because like I said before, this I'm just trying to dedicate and try my best to not try and spend anything, but try and create something that is great as a team and see where we go from there. So getting back to the Mad Ryu situation, like I said before, he is pretty much, in my opinion, a very, very viable and guaranteed character you can get and you can actually build on, at least up to S plus tier. Of course, the rest will not require you to either pull in by lock, focus on him if you've gone far enough, to options like the choice recruits or divination, right? But I feel like when it comes to divination and choice recruits, you have to sort of hold the horses before you decide on that, and I'm going to go into that more later, but I want to try and focus on where I am right now. So pretty much as you guys, like I've said before, the theory is that he actually sucks, not really that great. Early game he can do this, decent job for you, which they believe other characters can do for you as well. Mid game is when he starts to show up and is pretty much trash, and then of course end game, like they even like he's probably not even viable at all, right? And in case you guys are trying to wonder what do they consider early game, I believe early game from a lot of the content creators that I've also watched as well will be something around 1 to like 14 or 13 or so, I think. And then mid game will be somewhere after that, all the way to like 20, 22, 23, 24. Let's say 1 to 14 for early game, 15 to 24 for mid game, and then the end game will be anything above 24, and then 25 and above will be end game. And as you can see right now, I'm just going to hit it here. I'm pretty much on 1919, so I guess I'm pretty much in the middle of mid game, and I'm mid game in the middle of mid game, getting closer to to 20s. Like I believe once I clear this couple of seasons right now, I will pretty much get there, right? And then end game, whatever. So now, my point I'm trying to say is this, right? If you guys eventually pull and you think that is better, for example, people advise to invest in Cami, they believe it's a very strong carry as well. They also advise in other, characters as well that I believe, like, like Sea Viper, uh, that these are good safe bets because you can always get the shards, you can focus on them, wish list and all that kind of stuff. I don't disagree with them, but like I said before, I don't agree with them now. Madry is totally trash. So what I just want to let you know is that in as much as you're going to have a main carry, you guys already know it's always going to be about the synergy with the team, okay? And with my story, with my general mad review, before I had the likes of Rose, Bison, which you guys actually saw when I actually got him, as well as Jury, and even um, Trini Cami, I pretty much ran with people that would actually make sure that he was doing his job, right? He's there to like just wipe out the opposing team as quickly as possible. I'm not trying to sleep and play some tactical games, take too long, taking the enemies out. I'm not super dependent on the AoE factor unless when it actually boils down to it. I'm just trying to just depend on massive continuous bombs to actually take out the opponents, right? And I understand because eventually you're going to start to see maybe people like the tank eventually come to fruition and become very strong. But the truth of the matter is that that's where you actually now have to deal with the fighting souls, which is a different content for another day. So going back to what I was trying to say is that um, I depended on you know um, Elena to support him in the past so that he can constitute a heal, and then eventually I depended on Rose to randomly buff or heal him, whatever the situation might be. And if it gets really tight, I kind of put both of them. So I got Bison. It's been a bit easier for me as well because I would actually put Bison, and Bison would help him last longer. And the other thing you also understand is that the main reason why he's pretty much considered, not viable, is because of his HP loss that would occur whenever you have to use his special. So you can, in my opinion, you can pick the time you use your special. For me, I believe the most effective one is the Shin Shuriken or Metsu Shuriken or whatever he calls it. Obviously, if you're not close to the target or if the target is up in the air, it won't have the devastating effect. But the whole point is that you want to use it to finish up the current person you're on. So you can actually interchange based on, for example, if the person you're about to attack is either flimsy, you can use it from the start with the Metsu Doken, or if they've taken a hit already and they're about to just pass out, you just need to just not be knocked out, you can put it over there as well. And that would definitely help with the continuous extra Metsu you can, while you can now do a lot of change with the other characters and try and wipe out the opposing team as quickly as possible. Okay, so if you set up your combo and it doesn't work out and you decide to go with the other one, it's not working out that way, then no, go manual. That's typically the other way. In most cases, from my experience here, the actual challenges are typically like enforced, right? So for example, let's look at, we're 19 right now. 19.4 will be your first challenge, the ones that have the big stars. If not 19.4, it's going to 19.8. 19.8 is going to be 12, 16, 20, and so on. So that's typically the ones that you might find yourself occasionally being more manual or automatic. And of course, as you go higher, it's going to be more challenging. If you look at my roster right now, because I haven't started to go character specific in terms of like boosting, I haven't started to focus on Rose, I haven't started to focus on Jury. I'm just depending on what got generated. The only person I focused on was Trendy Cami. Okay, so I got Trendy Cami just like that on random pool. Great, awesome stuff. But then if you go to the event, right, and the Trendy Cami event, there is actually, I believe, like I'm trying to see where I can find it. There is like a check mark where you would actually get divination if you actually fulfill that check mark. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I believe it's okay. So it's the group park here. Okay. With Street Poison, I was lucky. I got a duplicate second time around, and I got her, from just regular pool. I guess because she's wind, she can pop up anytime. So I don't even see her so that I should actually do character specific pools like the choice reward, the choice recruit, or divination. And in my own opinion, divinations, I believe she only used strictly for either the masters or the infernal class, unless you actually have a strong build or a decent build, or you just want to focus about your character, which in my opinion, like I said, you can be very picky, and I will try and explain that in another video. And I will try and make it more constructive so that way you guys get the major point I'm trying to put out there. Okay, so the divination was the encouraging factor for me when it comes to the Trendy Cami, to getting her to A+. We get you that. Okay, so because of that, after I had Trendy Cami in the first chart, I had to do 3 pulls from divination to actually get her to deduplicate, and then get almost like getting a refund back, but getting like a stronger Cami, right? So that's what I did with that. Although that cost me, I remember pretty clearly, it cost me like 9,000 diamonds, because I had, was it 9,000? What am I saying? 15,000 diamonds, because it's 5k for divination, right? So it cost me 15k diamonds in that cost, and it was alright. And then of course I put my Gen back, because he's the one I'm hoping I can actually pull when I'm ready to try and do some divination, pulls. So let's get back to what I'm trying to say right now. The most important thing, like I said, in the end, is that Mad Ryu has been doing a decent job for me, a good job. In fact, he's done great. So the reason why I actually have Training Kami here is just to try and balance out the synergy here that they talk about here, the faction bonuses that you're going to get. So we're going to try right now in 1919. We're going to try like an auto, and if we fail, typically what I do is I go 3 attempts on auto, because it can be pretty random, and then after that I try and go manual. Okay, right now I have Mad Ryu starting and Mad Ryu ending, and that's where manual can come in sometime, because if Mad Ryu starts and it takes out whoever's in front, and he's still taking out other characters, although your chance that you're going to win, but he wouldn't perform the super in the last attempt, right? So let's just go right ahead and just hit the fight button, and we're in auto again. So let's see what happens here. As you can see, he's already started. This Zangu is already out, so I do that with the Shinku Hadoken, and he does the stuff. Boom, clear out. 1919, right? He's already done it. This is all auto. Look at my characters, right? Most people, whenever they use Bison, he's already minimum A+, and that's actually even an understatement. Like, you probably see him on S already. Now look at my jury, barely on pretty much A+, just to add the speed, because she's obviously the fastest among the Infernals, but she's one of the fastest overall in the cast. And of course Rose, just to give that random buff here and there and that kind of stuff. So and trust me, I wasn't using Rose, and so this is 1920. This is typically one of the challenges was I wasn't using Rose and Juri. In my opinion, my more dependable units are actually Elena and either Gal, Kami, or Dalzim, and they're actually even very strong units already, right? And when I get stuck, you already know who's coming out. Beast Zangief himself. So this is how I pretty much roll with it. And I try again. Auto wouldn't make it. Great. If it doesn't make it, we go with the manual stuff. As you can see here, the debuff tends to help wherever. They're definitely going to be strong, and the time when I always feel like I'm going to be worried is if they take out Mad Ryu, right? So if they take Mad Ryu right now, it's definitely going to be tough. But like I mentioned before, those levels in Force are typically some of the more challenging characters, because it's almost like a mini boss fight, right? It's a checkpoint, and if I notice that I'm not making any success here, then I go manual after a bit. As you can see, E100 is pretty much holding me back, but now I'm hoping that with the combo being able to make it to using my generation. You see, Mad Ryu is already going ham. First one might not work out. Second one probably will. They took out Mad Ryu already, but we still have Jiri, and hopefully Jiri can actually help. Although if Poison gets to AoE, we might be screwed. So let's hope that it can take her out before she does it. Okay, there you go. We might not win this. She's gonna take us out. Well, the point I'm trying to say is, look at that, very bad. But this is all on auto, right? I'm not super bothered, but I can see where this might actually feel a little bit intimidating. That what if it's actually the worst characters I had? But we haven't even gone manual yet, and let's see if Madri can actually do something better this time. Okay, because he's the one that we actually hope can actually take us out there. Okay. There you go. Third attempt, and auto takes us through. And like I said, this is one of the more crazy ones. We go again to the next one. So point I'm trying to say is that so far it's been going great. If I do get stuck and I realize what, no matter the combination of units I use, he's pretty much useless. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll definitely admit it. But otherwise, I just want to also once again address my current situation with Mad Ryu, and it's still be doing the great job for me right now. So we're already in 1920. Of course, we have to go all the way to 1940 before we get to 20, and of course once we get to the mid game, once we get to the end game or close to the end game, we'll see if we're starting to struggle. But by then, I'm pretty sure I would have strengthened the other units around him, and we should be. Look, I'm facing SSS characters on higher levels. I don't even have my levels really high because I'm trying to preserve my resources and be smart with my combinations and boosting of all the characters that I believe I actually care about. So I'm going to try again and say once again, I want to say thanks again once again for listening to me. It wasn't supposed to be as long as this. It was supposed to be a thank you video, a quick review about how my journey with the Matter has been. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I do appreciate you guys. But you guys try hit that like button, subscribe, even notification as well, so that you know when I actually release. I don't release super often yet, but I try to release something that might be interesting, or at least informative to you guys. So let me know what you guys think, and otherwise thanks again, and I'll catch you again in another video. Cheers.